Hey guys, I said, I guess I would say last video, it's the second video I recorded, but I uploaded another. Okay, so first I made an attempt at one video, failed, then I tried it again, it's success, uploaded it, then I uploaded the first one, which was a fail. So I guess I said 2 videos ago, even though to me it's like I said it last video. I said on the last video, what kind of snappers are they? That I would do a video like this, another world video. Although, I guess this is kind of not exactly technically a world video, but it's something. Okay, so everyone has their own personal preferences on things, and everyone prefers one thing over the other, this or that, that and this, and whatnot and whatnot. Well, my friend Kat has very wildly different opinions. I guess not wildly different. Maybe hers make more sense than mine, but whatever. I like my things, she likes her things. This video is not really describing a world, like a story and a plot. This is going to be what I think the perfect turtle design would be. This is my thing, and you can make up a world to go along with these designs. This is just talking about what I think would work and what wouldn't work, and what I like, what I don't like. The best turtle designs. So, let's see. Let's talk about the original designs and a few other designs here and there. Let's talk about design aspects, and then I'll go into what I think would be the perfect design. Let's talk about the Prime Turtles. Originally, they were in black and white, but colorized versions have come out since then. They all have the same tone of green for their skin. They all wear red, and they all look the exact same. Save for Leonardo in later issues when he got a shoulder strap, but every other one of them looks the exact same. The only tell them apart with their weapons. The designs got more and more advanced and detailed as the years went on. First, different mask colors, which stuck. Different skin tones, which stuck. The 1990s movie gave them different faces, which didn't stick at first. Next few incarnations, they went back to the same turtle 4 times, but they kept the different skin tones. Then 2012 came along and finally firmly placed that each one of the 4 turtles should look different, not just draw one turtle and copy it 4 times. Leonardo was like the default, like the base turtle, the base design. And then the other 4 edit from there. Like for Don, they probably just took Leo and made him a bit taller, slimmed his shell down, and weakened his muscles a little because Donnie is the weakest, so he has the scrawny arms. Gave him a gap tooth and a different shaped head and different eye colors and different skin tone. And hell, they even went as far as to give a different plastron tone. Which is that's even more than just giving them different skin tones. That's an A+ detail right there. I like that. So Leo, I always thought Leo should have the yellow, since yellow is kind of what their shells have always been, say for a few incarnations. But oh well, they give him orange, kind of like an orange tone. Donnie has a brownish plastron tone, like a light brownish. And then with Raph, they shrunk Leo down a little. They made his nose a bit pointed and gave him a darker green skin, or I'm not sure who has a darker skin. And they gave him a crack in the shell, and the bigger muscles too. And there we go. And they made his shell yellow, which is what I felt Leo should have been, but alright. And then Mikey. They shortened him down even more, made his muscles slightly smaller, but not too much smaller, and gave him freckles. And his shell color is kind of like a tan color, kind of human skin tone color. So yeah, that's the 2012 designs. All 4 of them look different. Then 2014 came along, and everyone hates those designs, but they kept the whole all 4 of them look different thing. They changed which one's the tallest. They made Raph the tallest, but still, all 4 designs look different. And then Rise came along, and all four of them look drastically different from each other, which some people still don't like, but I get why they did it. They're different species. But it also makes them stick out from each other and not feel like they belong together in the same team or even in the same show, especially Raph. He looks like he belongs with the 2014s. But that might just be me. But okay, so that's that. They went from all looking the exact same, only being torn apart by their weapons, to if you mix one up for the other, you're stupid. So that's that. That's that part of their design talked about. I just spent 5 minutes talking about it. Now let's move on to other design choices. So the original design in the Prime world, they had a tail. Every other design afterwards got rid of the tail, probably for obvious reasons. It probably someone would mistake it for a dick. I know kids were dumb, but come on, a kid can tell what a tail is. Nearly every animal has one, including regular turtles. I'm pretty sure the kid would know that that's not a tail. I'm pretty sure the kid would know that that's not a dick. But hell, maybe there would be one dumb kid. But yeah, they removed the tails. Now let's move on to the shells. The shells have always been a thing. Because it's what defines a turtle, nowadays anyway. The original species of turtle had no shell. It just looked like a lizard. That was the original first turtle. But the shells on the Ninja Turtles have been a constantly changing thing from incarnation to incarnation. The Prime world, their sides were always covered in black. It was silhouetted, shadowed. But thanks to Turtles Forever and 2012, we actually get a glimpse of what their sides looks like, and they do have bridges. I like that. That's good. It's my preference. But yeah, so sometimes it's always a plastron and a carapace. But a lot of the times, like in 87, 2003, 2014, and a few others, they don't get any bridges. 1990s movie gave them bridges. 2012 and 2007 gave them bridges. And Rise gave them bridges, which I like, because that's what real turtles have. Their plastron and their carapace are connected. So I like that. And then there was a problem that happened with 87 that every other incarnation afterwards tried to fix. Whenever we see one of the turtles sit down, lie down, or fall down, whatever, whenever we get an upward shot, like whenever a turtle's lying down like this, you can see right here, and even though there was nothing there, because turtles' private parts are retractable like most animals, even though there was nothing there, some parent somewhere must have complained and said, that looks wrong. So here's what they did. In 1990's movie, they added something underneath, kind of like a bridge, except underneath. Kind of looked like the carapace was connecting to the plastron. Plastron was connecting to the carapace. Same thing with 2003. Although it wasn't a bridge, it was the carapace itself, just would stretch all the way down. That looked very suggestive, but I'm just trying to prove a point. Then in 2007 and 2012, it wasn't the plastron that was stretching all the way down there. It was actually another piece of shell entirely, kind of like an underbridge. That's what I like to refer to. And in Rise, we see in the opening intro, if you freeze frame it at the right spot, they do have an underbridge. But in the show itself, it looks like they're wearing black shorts. I'm still not sure if they're wearing black shorts or if it's just silhouetted. I cannot tell. If they're wearing black shorts, that might mean that they have no underbridge, which means they have to hide that spot. But as we see in the opening intro, they do. Unless the opening intro animation is something they put there that's not actually on them in the show. I don't know. But turtles don't actually have underbridges. So I don't like that aspect. I don't like an underbridge. And it makes me confused on how they... Never mind. You know what? No, we're all grown-ups here. If they have an underbridge, how did they pee, poo, and how do they whip it out to mate? That's just what I want to know. Does the underbridge like move slightly? Is there like a slight little gap, a little opening for stuff to come out? I don't get it. I never understood how an underbridge worked, especially on the 2003 Turtles where their plastrons just stretch. Is there like a part of the plastron that opens? How does it work? I don't know. So I don't like an underbridge. I like the idea of there being nothing there, even though there always has to be something there. It's either there's something there or they wear pants like 2014 and possibly Rise are doing, which a lot of people don't like the Turtles wearing pants because they've never worn pants before. But whatever, that's that. Now we move on to the 2 toes, 3 toes thing. Oh boy, where do I begin with this? Okay, so the Turtles in every mainstream official incarnation, save for one, always have 3 fingers. There is one where they have 4, but that's not important. And 2012 gave them 3 toes. And the project we're working on, New Origin, also is going to give them 3 toes. And I'm working on a project of my own. Wait for hers to get off the ground first, and then I'll really start with mine. It's going to give them 4 toes. But most incarnations gave them 2 toes. And then after 2012, 2014 and Rise went back to 2 toes. Although Kat prefers 3 toes, and thanks to her, I do too. I like the 3 toes. It makes more sense, and it just looks better. The other way is uneven. It looks weird. Okay, so that's everything that's been on them so far. The rest is all really up to art style, but the kind of design I'm talking about I'm trying to make it work with a live action Turtles. Either CG like 2014 or a suit like the original 90s movies. Either way, I'm trying to make this design work. But if you want, you could try to make it work in a cartoon or a CG you try to make this work. But my personal thing, yeah. Oh, and nostrils. Nostrils have only been done twice officially, and both times people said it didn't work. It looked ugly and looked wrong and didn't look right. That was in Out of the Shadows, the video game from 2013, and 2014 movie, and people said that the nostrils didn't look right. Okay, and there's another design aspect I have to talk about. Literally every official mainstream incarnation. You look at the turtle from the side. Look at it from the front. Look at it from the side. It kind of like has where their eyes are, and then it kind of bends forward where their mouth is to show that they have like something protruding. It's supposed to be kind of similar to a beak, because turtles have beaks. It's not a beak, but it's like a beak, is what I'm saying. That's just how the turtles are in every incarnation. If you're going with the old school turtle design head from the original comics, the 1990 movie and 87 series, where it's kind of like this, it protrudes out. But if you're going with the 2012 style head shape, which is more this, even there, if they turn the heads to the side, you see something comes out. It protrudes out. Especially on Raph with his pointed beak, I should say. You can definitely tell that it's not flat-faced. 2014's, however, look like they've been slamming their heads into the wall. In the sequel movie, Out of the Shadows, that's a stupid name, because it's going to get people mixed up with the other game. But yeah, in Out of the Shadows, it protrudes out a little. They took notes of the complaints. But yeah, they were mainly flat-faced. And only one other thing has done that, and that is TMNT Summer Short, Donnie vs. Raph. So we see in the thumbnail, it's also flat-faced, which I don't like that. Literally everything beforehand gives them something that protrudes out, which is how they should be. That's how it works. That's how it's always been. Even when they changed the classic turtle head to the 2012 modern turtle head, it's still something that protrudes out. So I think that's the way it should stay. That's just me, though. Now, that we got all that out the way, I think I could have covered every little design aspect that I want to cover. Oh, some incarnations have fingernails and toenails, some don't. Okay. I'm not going to talk over about their gear, the stuff they wear. I'm just talking about the bodies themselves. If I go over that, we'll be here a while. In fact, we've been here a while already. It's been 15 minutes. Okay, now I'll give a time code to when I actually say what the perfect design is. Okay, so go to 1530. Got that, me watching this? Remember, in the description, 1530 is when I start talking about it. Okay, the perfect turtle design, in my personal preference. Kat's perfect design is going to be something different. Maybe I'll ask her to make a video describing her perfect design. But my perfect design. Okay. So Kat's ideal turtles is they don't have scales. They just have human skin but colored green. And it's all smooth. It's not scaly. Because they're mutated. They touch humans, so they're part human, so they take on humans type things. You know, that's her thing. But I always like to imagine them with scales because turtles have scales and they're reptiles. I just like that. I like to have them with scales. Okay. That's just my preference. Okay, so let me start with the basic build of them, and then I'll get to the fine details. I prefer, as much as I like the old school stuff, something like 2012's head shape and Rai's head shape makes more sense. Well, say for Donnie's rectangle head. Something more like Rai's mic. Yeah. I just like the 2012s. The 2012s make more sense to me. So yeah, a 2012 style type head. Yeah. Oh, it's Turtle's filter in there. Something's wrong with it. I need to buy a new one. We'll probably need to buy it fast. Anyway, the Turtles, yeah, like that's the kind of head I want. And then the bodies, well, 2012 art style kind of gives them weird looking muscles, build, and body shape. So it depends on the art style, really, but just give them a body. Like, make a human-looking body, and just put a plastron and carapace on the back. Just make them look like humans, but with 3 fingers. That's what I prefer. I want them to have fingernails. Kate doesn't like fingernails, but I like fingernails. Give them fingernails. Or, if you want to, you can give them claws, because that's what real turtles have, but I prefer fingernails. And toenails. And I like them to have 3 toes, but not the type of foot that the 2012s have. That looks more like an elephant foot. Give them more like the classic 2-toed foot that we see almost every incarnation have, but just slap a 3rd toe on there. Just take my foot right here and just only give it 3 toes. And there you go, that's the perfect foot. And for their shells. The shells are, well, kind of a controversial thing to mess with. Usually, with the 2003s, with their big upper part that kind of look like pecs, and then the rest just goes down. So it's like, yeah. And then 2012s, all their shells are always kind of odd. Just look at different pictures of different incarnations. You'll know what I'm talking about. 87 just looks like a bunch of circles just drawn together and slapped on. But usually, with all the different shell kind of looks, it always keeps one thing. A line down here, a line through here, and another line here that's usually covered by the belt, so you don't really see that line. A few incarnations have changed this. The Volume 3 turtles, which gave them more of a realistic turtle plastron look, with a line that kind of goes like this, like a triangle shape down, and a few extra ones of these, and then another triangle around the crotch area. Like a real turtle, which, alright, I'll give them respect for that, for realism. But I think I prefer this. That's just what I prefer. And then Next Mutation gave him a weird looking design and no one liked it. And Rise gave him a weird plastron type deal that kind of protrudes out, again, kind of like pecs. It also has a different colored thing here, like 2 lines inside, and then the line here that's not a straight line. It's more like, just look at Rise. shell. You'll see what I'm talking about. They're weird. I don't like that. I prefer the traditional 2 lines going sideways and then 1 line going up the middle. That's what I prefer. And then a bridge. Give them a bridge. I like that. Give them a bridge. And let's see, what kind of bridge do I prefer? There's the 2012 bridge that has those black things, but real turtles don't have those. I don't even know what those black things are. There's like the 1990 movie and 2007 movie where it's kind of like lines all through. And then there's Rise, which just has a plain bridge here, nothing else to it. I like the kind with lines, Drew. I think that makes the most sense to me. Technically, none of those are realistic. No real turtle has a bridge with lines. But I think I prefer that one. So give them that one. No underbridge, because real turtles don't have that, and plus it gets in the way of natural things like I described earlier. And if people complain about seeing that crotch area, there's no penis there. Quit complaining. So yeah, no underbridge, none of that. And I want them to have tails. I miss the tails, man. They've never been brought back ever. But you gotta get those tails up in the air. I miss them. And 3 toes with toenails. And I want them to have scaly skin. Not like really noticeable, like huge ass scales that kind of stick out. No, just like tiny scales throughout their whole thing. Instead of this big, make it more like this big. Just put it right here. Just have it all over them. All over them. And I want them to have nostrils. I want their eyes to have color. Because I'm describing a live action world with suits. I want their eyes to have color. It's up to your preference what color you give each individual turtle. You can give them all the same colored eyes and give them all different colors. 2012 eye color, 2014 eye color. You do whatever. My preference though is Leo with blue, Donnie with brown, Raph with green, and Mike with blue. That's my personal preference. Yeah. And I want Leo to have a yellow plastron, and then I want Don to have a tan plastron, Raph to have a brownish plastron, and Mike to have an orangish plastron. This is my personal preference. And that's. Oh, and I also want them to have their red ears, but you can't. You can only see it when they take their masks off. Usually, when their masks are on, their red ears are covered. And that's my personal preference. That's what I prefer. That's the perfect turtle design to me. That's my personal preference. That's what I want to see in a future incarnation. That's mine. That's what I prefer. And that's if they're red ears. If you want to make them a different species, make a slight alteration. If you want to make them a sea turtle, just make the shell a slightly different shape. Make it shaped more like a sea turtle shell. And also get rid of the red ears here and just have them have nothing. Maybe make their arms a bit more flat looking. Like imagine my arm, but just kind of squished a little. And there you go. Flat to look more like a flipper. And instead of giving them nails on the end, give them like little claws. Or maybe nails that kind of turn into claws as they go. Or maybe a nail here and then a claw coming out. Because male sea turtles have claws. It's for gripping onto the females for mating. And if you want to make them snapping turtles, just make their tails longer, add some spikes on the bottom of their shell, and make their tail have osteoderms. You know, those weird bumps on a snapper tail. Maybe give them a meaner looking expression. You want to make box turtles, have their plastron jut out a little, so when they go in, they can close. That's also a personal preference of mine. I like the idea of them going in their shells, but at the same time, with how long their arms and legs are, it looks like they shouldn't be able to. I like to imagine their heads can duck in, but that's about it. That's my preference. So if you're making it a box turtle, have it where their head goes in, but the arms don't, and just have their shell just close over where the head is. Yeah. So just have it kind of, instead of just going straight up, have it come up and spread it out a little so it can close. And if you want to make them a soft shell, just make their back shells completely flat and don't give them any other detail on there. No scoots or anything. Just have it be completely smooth. If you want to make them alligator snapping turtles, just cover the whole back up in spikes and give them longer tails. And actually, instead of nails, just give them claws. If you want to make them regular snappers, common snappers, just give them like slightly long nails that are kind of sharp. But if you make them an alligator snapper, give them sharp nails. Let's see, what other kind of species have the turtles been? If you want to make them tortoises, I don't know why you would. That's next mutation. People don't like that. But if you want to make them tortoises, give them a really big outward carapace. Make sure that's as big as possible. Hard to sneak around in. Oh, yeah, that's if you want to make them a cicada tortoise. And what other species? If you want to make them a yellow belly, give them a yellow ear. Just make sure all their plastrons are yellow if you're going to make them yellow bellies. Yeah, make the color of the plastrons all yellow, and give them, instead of a red ear down here covered by their mask, give them a yellow ear that kind of goes up into their mask, and you see it on their cheek. And there you go. And what other species would you... I'm not going to cover every single species because there's nearly 300, nearly 400 species of turtle. I'm not going to cover every single one. If you're making them a soft shell, give them a slightly pointy nose. Because that's cute looking. I like that. It's like a little pig nose. And that's it. That's my perfect turtle design right there. I prefer all four of them to be red ears, but if you're gonna change them, make them a different species, make all four of them different species like Rise is doing, or just change their species. Just make them all sea turtles or make them all snappers. Do that. Do something with that. Make them look like that. I'm not gonna go over the gear. That's a whole other thing entirely. I was just going over their bodies. My perfect definitive turtle design. In my head, that's what the turtle should look like. That's my turtles. That's what I imagine. That's what they should be. Now make those into a suit or make them into CG like you did with 2014. I don't care. Make those into a movie. And with that, I'll end this when my timer down there says it reaches 30 minutes. For some reason there's a weird glitch. Even though it says 30 minutes on there, if I upload it, it's going to say 32 minutes. I don't know why, but that's a weird glitch. It's been a thing for a while now, and it's weird. Unless it fixed itself. I don't know. I'll find out when I upload this. But when my timer down there says 30 minutes, that's when I'll end it. So I'm just going to waste the time here. But yeah, that's my perfect design. That's what I prefer. That's my preference. 3 toes, toenails, scaly skin, no underbridge, nostrils. And that's it. That's my perfect design right there. So when Peter Laird had like control over the franchise, he had a few ground rules set. Turtle designs should not have fingernails and toenails, and also no girl turtles. And turtles should not fall in love with anyone. Yeah, those were some of his rules. I'm like, why no toenails? I like fingernails and nails. I like that on them. No. Oh, and tail. Yeah, forgot about that part. Tail. And there we go. That's the definitive design. That's the design that makes the most sense to me in my head. According to the cat and then a lot of other people, the nose scales and everything makes more sense because I guess it makes sense. They're part human. They got the human in them. Fucking. When I imagine something being part human, I just imagine it walking upright and having thumbs. That's what I imagine. I think that's as good. I think that's as good as it should be. All right. See you guys next time. Peace.